Hey y'all, it's Natalie for Wow Embossing here today, and I am creating a super fun background on the scrapbook page, and I'm using these blues. I've picked out Sea of Tranquility, I have Sea Flower, Midnight Dream, Primary Soft Aqua, and Vintage Turquoise. And I'm going to be using some of my favorite products, which are rub-on transfers from 49th and Market, and creating my own background. I'm going to also be using that Wow cardstock to back my photo. So I pulled out this stencil, and I'm going to use the embossing powders with the Lots of Dots stencil from Wow Embossing, but I decided that I want to add my rub-on transfers before I add the other mixed media, so that I make sure I account for enough space for all of them, and then I will layer things up. So I'm going for this 12 by 12 rub-on sheet, and I'm going to pull out that geotag, and then I'm going to pull out some lime green elements because I know that the title I'm going to use is lime green. And then I found this ship which had a lot of navy blue in it, and we are posed in front of the cruise ship that we were on, so I thought that was really perfect. So I just pulled out a few different rub-ons, and now I'm using that Wow cardstock to back my photo, and it's bright white just like my textured cardstock that I'm using for the background, so I liked that the whites matched. So I'm going to kind of put it a little crooked on that backing piece, which is also from 49th and Market, a different collection. So the rub-ons are from the Vintage Artistry Everywhere collection, which is a travel collection. And I think the other bits are from Spectrum Sherbet, which was last year's Rainbow collection. So I'm figuring I'm going to do just like a middle row of items. So I'm going to show you that I am here rubbing on the transfers directly onto the cardstock. I do not have any gesso or anything on the page because I'm not going to add too much liquid or anything to my background. I keep saying backdrop, sorry about that. And these rub-ons are fabulous. They go on like butter. They can overlap one another. I'm really happy with how they look, and they're nice and distressed, which I love. So I'm going to put that other half of that line of lime green on the other side, so it kind of looks like it's running off the page on both sides, and it kind of delineates the space. So I'm doing just a straight line across the middle here. So now I'm going to go in with my Lots of Dots stencils by Wow Embossing, and I'm going to just add some matte white texture paste. And I'm going to do it in a few different areas. Some of the texture paste overlaps the rub-ons just a little bit. And I'm kind of working quickly because I don't want it to start drying, because I want to add embossing powder over the top of it while it is still wet. So I'm just going to sprinkle little bits of each color so I can kind of get some variegated coloring here. This is the Vintage Turquoise, which is part of the Silk Road, I think is the name of the trio. And this is Midnight Dream, which is a navy blue sparkle. I use this one a lot, and I actually end up using this one the most on the page, I think. I think this one is Sea of Tranquility. I don't know, it might be Sea Flower. They're both very similar. And now I'm going to heat them up. So normally when you heat up texture paste, it will get kind of bubbly and maybe like a little wonky. But in this case, I didn't mind if it got wonky, but it allowed the embossing powder to harden and get shiny on top. And I just really love the look that it gave. And if it bubbled up a little bit, I didn't hold the gun on it too long, but if it bubbled up a little bit, it's okay. So there you can kind of see the finished glazed little dots there. And now I'm thinking, what should I add next? So I get out my roller ball, which is what you use to refill your ink pad, your Wow Embossing ink pad. And I'm just going to roll it directly onto the page and just some little swaths of color. And I'm going to add, this is Sea of Tranquility. I add this in all of the spots here on both sides that I am coloring in with that roller ball. And I love this technique. I've never done this before, but I will be doing it again. It was so cool. I love how it turned out. It just landed directly onto the swaths of the ink that I put on the page, and it turned out so good and very abstract, and I'm loving it a lot. So there I am melting all of that lovely Sea of Tranquility powder, and that's inspired by Seth Apter. And I'll link down below with my WOW affiliate link if you would like to go grab any of these colors from the store. There's a UK link and a US link. So this is really coming together nicely. I'm gonna add the photo back on, but I see I still have a lot of white spaces that I wanna fill in. So I do that same technique with the rollerball again, but I'm going to use the Midnight Dream navy blue glitter. And I kind of make it a little more open areas. That little area on the left is a little bit too colored in. So I've learned, you know, just in the course of doing this, that I like to lighter hand, if you will, with the roller balls. So I'm super loving the way that those look. And you can find a fun little reel over on the WOW Instagram today to give a lot of cool close-ups of this layout. I found this other stamp that I have that has I think it's like a sailboat or some type of ship. So I decide to stamp it. I'm just using a scrap piece of paper to test it out and then stamping it directly on. And it's fine if the image doesn't stamp perfectly, because that's kind of the look I'm going for, is a distressed look. And I have a little compass that I'm going to do first and second generation stamping with over here. And then there's a rope stamp. So again, I do the same technique, first and second generation. So I get different depths of color there. And then I also have one that says seaside, and we were seaside. We were posed right in front of the cruise ship. So I am going to do the same technique a few other places. And so it looks like I'm pretty much done filling in my row there once I add my photo back. And so I'm really happy with how it looks. So I'm going to add some embossing powder to my title. So these are pre-cut die cuts. This one is from Kaisercraft. So I'm just using my WOW embossing pen to go around the edges of this die cut. And then I'll use that same Midnight Dreams navy blue glitter WOW embossing powder to go over the writing on this, the pin marks that I just made. And it will just give a nice little glittery outline here. And I'm really happy with how that looks. And so I'm going to give it the same treatment over there on the other part of the title that says Best of Times. So the whole title is going to say Best of Times in Paradise. And then if it gets a little wonky, because I didn't use my powder tool, so if a little bit of glitter kind of sticks to the middle, I'll just use a dry paintbrush to move the glitter where I want it and not let it be in the middle obstructing the letters. So I'm just going to heat set that, and it is looking good. I'm liking it. Distressed. It combines some of the background into the elements that I'm putting on the page, so I'm really happy with that cohesion. So there's the title. I had left a few of the rub-ons off to the side to fill in the gaps later, and so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to fill in the gaps with this paint splotch rub-on, and then I have another one that's lime green, and I think I have a word or two that'll go up in one spot. So I just love those rub-ons, and I love that they can be layered with all the other mixed media items. And I am loving the way that heat embossing powder looks in the background. I will definitely be doing this technique again. Super fun. I'm also on the blog today at WOW Embossing, so I'll link that down below too if you want to go check out all those detail shots. So I've adhered down my photo, and now I'm going to stick down my title. I do use Nuvo adhesive, the liquid glue, because of all of the heat embossing powder and the texture paste in the background. I want to make sure it sticks really nicely. So I stick it all down, and then I'm going to set that Nuvo tub down on top of it to make sure that everything's adhered down really nicely. I thought about not using the palm tree, but I do love the palm tree. I wanted it to be a nautical feel, but there were palm trees, of course, as soon as we got off of the boat. So I'll just leave that little palm tree and a few palm fronds. I won't make it like too tropical though, because I do like the nautical feel of it. So that is a 49th and Market little ephemera piece that I added. And so now I just have a few die cut palm fronds and whatnot that I'm going to add that turquoisey color that kind of is the same as the blotches that I put on the first round, the Sea of Tranquility color. So I'm just going to tuck those in, and I think we're going to call it a layout. I thank you guys so much for watching. I'd love it if you'd like and subscribe. I'll link down below with my affiliate link. And if you would like to go check out the detail shots and everything on the blog, let me know if you have any questions. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye, y'all.